Hi, my name's Chuck, and this is Hiking with Roulette Run. And today, we're here at the Bloodroot Trail, getting ready to put it on. Well, good morning, folks. Today I am at the Bloodroot Trail here at Salamonie Reservoir in Indiana. It's in Northeastern Indiana. And I'm getting ready to hike the first leg of this into camp. It's been raining all morning. Currently it's a very light sprinkle. I'm starting out wet. Got my frog togs on down here underneath. Got my trail runners on underneath that, and we're ready to go. I think starting out I'm gonna use the microphone built into the camera because there's not much wind to deal with today. We're gonna just take off and go. I got I don't know, something like 6-7 miles to do today, and then camp, and we'll go from there. My understanding is this is going to be a mix of woods and fields. And we have had plenty of rain, so there's a good chance I'm going to end up muddy before it's over. Temperatures are hovering around somewhere 55, 60, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'm really debating on whether I want to keep the frog togs on or go with shorts that are underneath there. We'll see. We'll just have to see how that plays out. I need to get my navigation set up on my phone. I'm using the Onyx backcountry, and we'll see where we go here. Maybe you can see it's not raining too hard right now. But raining it is.
I ain't afraid of the dark.
No berries yet, but they sure look like blackberries to me. Okay, so I'm coming up on 1.5 miles into the hike here, and I'm running across a lot of these mud puddles and whatnot. Some of them are almost like little stream crossings. I have to say that to this point, the water availability, if you were to need to refill water, filter water, has been very abundant, even though I am staying away on this first half of the hike from the lake, which is off to my left. My feet are wet. Thanks to my New Balance trail runners and my Willow Ace alpaca socks. So far I'm doing pretty good. I'll probably have to wring them out when I get camp set up. Wring out my socks. I don't think I can wring out my shoes. Well, you see kind of one after the other here. Now, this trail is very well marked. I did find one place where I started to get off trail, but I knew I was being questionable, and I whipped out my phone with the Onyx backcountry, and I realized very quickly that I was off trail. They use this trail in the wintertime for snowmobiling. Now at this point in the season,
Life will teach you what you need to know.
this is very grassy. I can't tell you what it gets like later in the summer. They do also allow bicycling on this path.
That's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know.
Looks like we got to cross a highway here.
Like a river flows, life will take you where you need to go.
This is where I pulled into the park. It's not technically a state park, it's what's known as a state recreation area. Okay. It looks like I parallel the road here for a while. I crossed the road and parallel the road for a while. Oh, I see where it goes. It goes up the hill and to the left there. This is a state highway.
I just wanna go out and walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you.
If you had seen how hard it was raining and thunderstorming earlier in the day when I took off from home, you'd have been questioning my sanity as to whether I was going to get out here today. But I was paying attention to the radar and the weather reports and said I'm going for it regardless of what happens, what kind of weather we run into. Just kind of embrace the suck.
I like to see the shape you're in from time to time.
I know that as I plot this, there are places where the trail overlaps itself, coming and going, or going and coming. And I've got it plotted out to where I keep right the entire first portion of the trail. Or actually, I guess, since I'm going counterclockwise, it'll be keeping right all the way around.
I just wanna see the same things you can see.
So far there has been some little ups and downs, but nothing too strenuous. A little slip sliding in the mud though is making things a little more strenuous, because sometimes you're taking a step where you lose traction and your foot almost goes backwards. Alright, I will keep you up to date.
I just wanna go
An educated guess would tell me that this tree was struck by lightning. There's pieces of it laying over there,
I just like to
down here.
I just wanna go out and walk with you, baby.
Pieces of it laying over here in the woods. Yikes. Looks pretty fresh too. Quite possibly this morning. Still pieces of it over here. You can see the fresh wood. God's power. I guess that leaves me about in the neighborhood of 4 miles left to go on this leg of the hike until I get to camp. Looks like we're getting ready to cross another road here. At this point, the trail's been highly squishy. Oh, I know where I'm at. I'm at the South Trailhead.
Like a thunderstorm, the pouring rain, it comes rolling in, and right away, oh, it hits you like a ton of lead. Oh yeah, it'll mess with your head. You won't know where to begin.
Okay, back to the trail.
You can't keep up, you fall behind.
Now I'm traveling to the campsite. I believe it's marked A or S5, one or the other. It's campsite 5, which was my second choice. As I was coming in, I talked to a couple hikers that were, or a few hikers that were leaving, and apparently they're more familiar with the place than I am. They said that 6, 5, and I want to say 3 was their favorite campsites on the trail. There is a fee to be collected when you come to hike this, although I will tell you that when I got here, the interpretive center up there where you're supposed to check in was closed. Now granted, this is Easter weekend, and yesterday was Good Friday, and today Saturday, and tomorrow is Easter Sunday, or Easter Sunday. That may have had something to do with it. I would think, at least during the busy season, that Saturdays at least, that they would be open. And you can actually get a patch when you complete this. You have to buy it yourself, but you can get a patch, a completion patch, up there at the interpretive center. Maybe I'll have to come back one of these days and get the patch, because I'm sure they're not going to be open tomorrow on Easter Sunday when I leave out of here. Working on 2 miles in. Okay, so Onyx Backcountry says I'm 2.21 miles in. And I decided it was time to come out of the frog tog pants, because it's getting kind of sweaty here. I can be wet and sweaty, or wet either which way, whether I'm sweating or just the rain, one or the other. And it's really just a light rain. And if it was colder out, I would by all means be keeping the pants on. I think I'm going to keep the top on. We'll see how it goes. If it stays too sweaty, I mean, if I'm going to be wet, I'll end up taking it off too. Who knows? We'll see where we go. But I'm 2.21 miles in right here. And I'm at another road crossing. I've already crossed this road coming this direction. And that one says the wrong way. And this one tells me that we need to go to the right here. So I stopped here, took a sip of water and whatnot, pulled the pack off for a few minutes and pulled those pants off. I didn't want to try doing that with my pack on. That would have been a neat trick. Probably would have been a good blooper reel right there. So at any rate, take everything off for a minute and take a sip of water, and we'll keep on trucking here in a minute. Definitely some wetlands action going on here. I don't know. Obviously, it looks like they're draining out of it here, because then on the other side there's a spill into this creek. Okay, so I have not gone that far since I took my pants, took my rain pants off. I do still have shorts on down here. But at any rate, but I feel much better, even though it is still sprinkling rain. I've actually partially unzipped my rain jacket here, and I've got the pit zips open too. This rain jacket is actually designed for bikers, but it's light enough and works for backpacking as well. Here I am. I just came out to open what has been planted in corn recently, because there's the stubs of corn stalks still out here. Okay, so I've definitely found the farmer's fields that they were talking about here on this hike. If you look behind me there over my left shoulder here, you see that I just came down that path, and there's field over here to my left. And then if I turn around here, you're going to see this sign, maybe. Where are you, sign? There. You're going to see that I got a cross here. I got a cross from the turn here, across between these two fields to head over here to these woods. So that's where we're headed. Okay, I'm walking. I don't know how much slower I need to go. Actually, I told you that this is used as a bicycle and also a snowmobile path. I must say, I think some of my UK friends have been quiet at home on a day like today. For the most part, it has quit raining now, and I could probably do away with my rain jacket at this point. And I may next time I stop for a break, but I don't feel like stopping for a break yet. So there's that. I've told you previously in a video or two how flat this area of Indiana is. It was scoured by the glaciers back during the ice ages, and you don't really get to hills in Indiana till you get down to southern part of Indiana, after where the glaciers stopped. And I'm not sure whether those are true hills as much as they are crags and gullies where the glacier runoff washed them away, rather than what I would call geological mountains or hills as far as upheaval from underneath. Although there is a fault line that runs up this direction. A little bit of a challenge, a little bit of mud coming down the hill here. Then if I'm not careful, my feet could slip out from underneath me. There is some challenging spots around here. Oh, that footstep just sunk in. As far as the hills are concerned and whatnot, it's like, I don't know, this is probably a rise of 20 feet. It's relatively very simple. The wind has suddenly picked up. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera or not, but it sure has. Within just like, since I've been filming this, or recording this, there is no such thing as film these days. I suppose there is, but I'm not using a film camera, let's just put it that way. Okay, so today, for now, I am nearing halfway for today's hike. And look at that. Got a nice little bench here. Although, that would lead to a seriously wet butt if I sat there. Oh, and this is going to get a little more challenging. Hopefully, I can get some traction here and not slip and slide all the way down or all the way trying to climb. We shall see. Right now, so far so good. Baby steps. Although I can feel my shoes slipping a little bit here. Okay, made it to the bottom here. This is definitely the steepest decline and incline that I've come across yet today. And most lengthy at that. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I guess that's telling you that if you go that way, that is not the way of the trail though. I mean, it is, but that's more like the return. And that would tell you how far you got to go. I am actually headed to campsite 5, which is 1.5 miles that way. It's probably closer to 3.5 this way. On we go. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that I'm skeptical right here. To call anything in Indiana a mountain is probably trying to lead somebody astray. The highest point in Indiana is down around Richmond, Indiana. It is not mountainous around Richmond, Indiana. So again, once you get down into southern Indiana, where the ground is much more rugged, you've actually gone downhill to get there. So, without doing a big thesis on geology of Indiana, all I can tell you is the parts that I know without doing all the research, and what some of it is my belief in regards to how southern Indiana came by its, I'll call them crags and gullies that were probably washouts more than anything. Oh, we're having fun today. Just embrace the suck, Chucky. 3.5 miles, it says. I will tell you, Onyx Backcountry says I've gone a little further than that. I don't know which to believe. All of this right through here is a whole hedge of wild rosebush. In the Army, those would have been known as serious wait a minute vines. They got stickers. They make you stop, think about things for a minute. All of this is wild rosebush. One had me hung up a minute ago. It was sticking out across the trail. And trying to get out of it, wasn't paying attention to what my feet were doing, and loose right into a big mud puddle. I mean, it's kind of nothing because my feet have been soaked for hours at this point. We are enjoying ourselves though. We're having a good time. Even though the sky is totally overcast. And it is no longer raining. And now the wind is falling back off. I don't know what the cause of that was. When I got up this morning about 5 a.m. 5:30 is when I had my alarm set, actually. Looks like some recent blowdowns here that the Parks Department has been out here clearing on. That's a shagbark hickory is what that is. Was. I mean, the wood is still shagbark hickory. Makes great barbecue wood, actually. Huh. And I've told you in other videos that we had some tornadoes come through the area here a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I have no way of knowing how long some of this wood has been felled or whatever you want to call it. However you want to say it. I'll try to get my English straight here. Out here in the woods. Hard to say. Oh. Steep something or another. Steep grades. Bridge ahead. Well, that's the first warning I had like that. Even the one that I thought was more steep. Oh, gonna have to do a little trail hopping here too. Tree hopping, I should say.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know,
I think soon I will stop and eat something for lunch. We're moving on towards 1 p.m. if it's not there yet. Okay, this side is a little more steep. Quite a lot more steep. So far the footing is good.
jumping from
Maybe I should have stopped back there where the log was
trusting our wings to fly.
and eaten lunch there.
Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up.
Could have had a perfectly good sit.
And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out
Okay.
where the road goes.
So, back down a hill here.
Even if I'm falling down,
Supposedly there's a bridge at the bottom.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky's
I just wanted to tell you, my pack today is weighing, I probably packed some fears today, in that I didn't know how I was going to be able to, how I was going to handle the temperature. And so I did pack a pair of hiking pants. I also packed a merino base layer top because I just didn't know. And so I've got a little extra weight in my pack from that. Probably packed way more water than I need with 4 liters. Okay, we're getting there. We are a couple miles out from campsite yet. And Onyx says I'm booking along at, I think it said 2.3 miles an hour, something along those lines. That's not too bad. I'm happy. Still no rain. I'm not terribly uncomfortable with the rain jacket on. I'm not pouring sweat like I was starting to when I had the rain pants on too. That was making a big difference. Taking those off has cooled me down considerably. I was starting to, of course, pulling the hood off has helped also. You know what? I don't know. I'll pass this one up. I was considering sitting there and cooking lunch. It's still not even 1 o'clock yet. And I may end up just walking. I could eat a snack. I got some snacks here in the belt, on the hip belt for the pack. And I may just pull one of those out and do that for the time being until I get to camp where I'm going to set up. And we'll go from there. Oh, also, so how did I pack my pack for the weather? All my stuff is just inside a regular old garbage bag, cinch top garbage bag, and then I've got just a no-name brand Amazon. I mean, there is a name, but it's just a cheap Amazon pack cover. It seems to be doing pretty good from what I saw when I stopped and had the pack off there for a little bit. I'm happy. As long as stuff is dry when I get there and go to set up, I don't care if it's got a good name or bad name or whatever. As if it works, it works, you know. I'll take it. Ooh, looks like woodpecker action here. So I told you earlier I thought that I was at the South Trailhead. I was far wrong. In fact, I may have been up in here. But I started up here at the North Trailhead. Up here. And I traveled down and around, down this way, down and around, and now I'm down at the South Trailhead right here. And I got to come back up and around and come up to campsite 5 right there is where I'm headed to. But this is the South Trailhead. It's just a gravel parking lot. Mount Etna is what this is. There you go. In case you don't know how to backpack. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. Got a few ladies over here. All this way in until I get my first view of the lake out there. And it travels all the way, right, from what I can see, travels from all the way about there, all the way across, out over this direction. Way on out there about as far as I can see. Alright. Keep on keeping. Okay, folks. Well, I made it to camp. I'm going to tell you, I don't mind telling you, that I've reassessed my statement about packing my fears, because I have actually put on all those clothes that I brought once I got to camp and got things kind of set up. I still got to do some rearranging in there and get my quilt tied down to my pad and all that kind of stuff, and rearrange some equipment and whatnot. But once I got all that done, and got chilly pretty quick once I stopped hiking. I'm glad that I have that merino upper mid layer, and I also put my rain pants back on. Act more as a wind pant as anything, so I'm glad I've got that. So let's see here. See if I can find my. What does the GoV say that temperature is right now? You better recalculate. That's more like it. It says it's 56.2 degrees. At first it was telling me it was 70 degrees. There ain't no way. This morning when I took off, it was 60, about 63, 62, something like that. So it has lost several degrees. And I will tell you that when I moved up here, and you see the lake back here in the background, and I'm kind of up on an exposed, it's not a bald by any means. I mean, there's plenty of trees around here. But right now there's no leaves on any of these trees yet. It may as well be a bald. And the wind is just flowing right through here, and it is a damp wind. And I'm quite happy to have this right now. I'm happy to have this raincoat and these frog tog pants just as a windbreaker. And it's I'm not freezing, and I did change shirts underneath the merino, so it's a fresh shirt, dry shirt underneath there. And I did not have the merino on when I was hiking, so it was fresh and dry as well. And that's what I'm currently wearing directly underneath the raincoat here. But I'm not freezing to death. It's just chilly. I did fix some noodles with Spam in them, a single serving package of Spam, and ate a few dried apricots. I also ate some granola, chocolate granola that I added some walnuts to. So that's pretty much been my early meal. I'll say my early meal because I'll probably eat something just shortly before dark again and go from there. Well, it's now midnight, and I've been laying here listening to one of the 7 books of the Chronicles of Narnia. I had to get up and take my 2 o'clock pee break at, 11:30. But I've been here, in the sleeping bag since about 8 o'clock because it got darn chilly. But I've gotten plenty warm in the sleeping bag. Very comfortable. Okay, we'll see you in the morning. So it's pretty chilly this morning. You know what? I stayed nice and toasty in this UGQ quilt. Of course, it's a 20-degree quilt. It ought to be keeping me warm, and it did. So no complaints. It's time to. Let's see. It is. Yeah, basically 7 o'clock. It's about time to get out of bed. Alright, so I am 100% certain that if it came with me, it's going with me. I don't see a thing left. Lake looks much better this morning. I don't know if you can hear the wind, but it is pretty breezy. And I am back into my raincoat, using it as a windbreaker, and it's working pretty well. And here in just a second, I'll get this stuff on and head out on the trail. I've already seen 2 people walk past up over there. The trail is actually over there. And I saw them come in last night after I was already set up, sitting in my easy chair. They're already out of here. It is currently 9:01, so probably about an hour earlier than I figured I'd get out of here. 9:01. Okay, folks, so this is a 100% primitive camping experience. So you have to bring everything that you want with you in regards to water, food, your ability to go to the bathroom, everything, because there is no facilities whatsoever out here on the trail. So far, I have seen plenty of places. That being said, to filter water, especially with all the rain we had yesterday. But so far this morning, I've only had to dodge a few places where I needed to go around the mud bogs, I should say. Mud bogs is basically what they were. Now, it's a little slippery underfoot. Part of that is leaves, part of it is the water, mud, whatever. And here we go. We're getting ready to have a little fun here. Try to stay as best as possible out of the water. Okay, so my pack is at least 6.6 pounds lighter than it was yesterday. I hiked in 4 liters of water. I drank and used 3 of those liters, actually a little more because there's some gone out of the 4th liter. If I need it though, there has been plenty of places to filter. I expect that to continue the rest of the way back out of the park here. Okay, so we are traveling on. It is a beautiful day for hiking. Sun is up. It is windy, and I am wearing my rain jacket as a windbreaker. But I'm down in a gully now. The wind is pretty much going over the top of me. But we're good. Oh. There would be a water filter fill up right here if I were in need. Okay, I may be huffing and puffing before this one's over. This is a good little steep decline and a steep incline on the other side. I'm not near as worried about my feet slipping out from under me today as I was yesterday. Amazing what 12 to 18 hours worth of not raining how it will change the trail. Now this, yeah, you can find some places to filter out in here if you need to. And it is running water. Not running very quick, but it's running. Now then, for this little expedition. I had one yesterday that definitely had me huffing and puffing before I was over the top. It was also near the end of the day, and that may have had something to do with it too. It wasn't too bad. Another campsite here. This would be number 3. Much closer to the trail, these last two, than the first two have been passed. 6, 5, 6 and 5 were further away from the trail. 4 and 3 have been pretty close. You can probably hear it, the wind has really picked up. This is another one that's just off trail. Site 2 here. It is really probably a 1, 2, 3 tent site at the most. Seven and a half miles it says. I don't know about that. I think my belief is it's been further, and Onyx Backcountry says it's been further. I have no clue what they were using to measure the distance when they put those signposts out. Yesterday when I got to camp it said I had done 7.3 miles. So, I don't know. It's interesting though. That means I only got one more campsite to come across. I didn't mention it, but I am hiking in my LA police gear. LA police gear hiking pants. I really like them. They're very lightweight. Kind of remind me of the old parachute pants if you're old enough to remember back in the 80s or Conceivably, it might have been late 70s. I think it was early 80s though. Parachute pants came out. Ripstop nylon. And these are not basically nylon and spandex. Nylon with a little bit of spandex in it. But they're very lightweight. And they're doing a good job of helping me keep the wind off. Fairly chilly this morning. It was 47 degrees Fahrenheit when I got up this morning. That's pretty cool. I was quite comfortable in that. It's not a sleeping bag, it's a quilt. Aha. We are coming up on campsite 1 here. So, here we are. Has a bench, fire ring. Oh, you could probably fit 3 tents, 4 tents in here easy, depending on the size of your tent. Probably a couple there. Fit one here, one over there. Probably 4 tents. I think when I made my reservation online, it told me a max of 6 people. I assume that holds true on all these campsites. That's an assumption on my part without truly investigating it. It is really kind of clouded up. And the wind has not died down a bit. If anything, it has picked up. You can tell spring is in the process of springing around here. Interesting mix of trees in here. I mentioned the shagbark hickory. These smooth bark trees are beech, I believe. I've seen a few of those. Several actually. And I believe that's what most of these small ones are. Have the leaves kind of droopy on them. I think those are beech as well. Okay, so I definitely did some log walking there to get around this. I've dodged a few today where I bypassed them around the sides of the trail. I got my wet foot badge yesterday and I don't see a need to repeat it. My feet were so gross last night when I got my shoes off. I was wishing I had brought some camp shoes, which I did not. And once I got my shoes off, I didn't put them back on. Pretty much after I ate dinner, I just got into under the quilt and stayed there listening to Narnia Chronicles of Narnia or something like that. Yep. So there, and I listened to it all night long. It was playing all night long in my tent. I only really listened to the first book, but it was playing all night long in my tent on my phone. Yeah, there's a nice steep one. I have to go back and listen to a bunch of books, or a couple books anyhow, because they're most of them are about 4-hour books. I think they are. Definitely doing some baby stepping on the way down here. Trying to keep my feet underneath me. Here we go. Another place where water could be gotten if needed. And up we go here. This just gets gradually steeper as it goes. And they give you a bench to sit down on at the top. That's kind of appropriate, isn't it? This looks like a place where the trail overlaps each other. Makes two-way traffic. Yesterday I went that way. I remember being here. I remember that bench. It was too wet to sit on. I do recall. All right. There we go. That doesn't seem right. Not for 13 miles. 2.31 miles. Oh well, it is what it is. This is gonna suck. I just have a feeling that feet are gonna get wet. I've been doing such a good job of keeping them dry today. Uh-oh, I might make it. I did make it. Woohoo! My shoes, now my socks that I had on yesterday, they were just totally, I didn't do a good job of trying to dry them out either. I could have hung them up. I should have hung them up. I didn't, but I had two pairs of dry socks in my pack here, so I'm quite satisfied. Okay, so as I was plotting this on Onyx, I kind of got confused. I added a bunch of this bike loop into the trail. That would have added like 2+ miles onto the loop here, or onto the trail. And I did intend to do that. However, I've run into a couple issues. Having a little bit of ankle pain and a little bit of an equipment issue with my water feed here. So I've decided not to do that. I will just stick with the 13+ miles of the actual Bloodroot Trail. So far, I have sidestepped a whole bunch of these, much worse than this, going onto the rough edges here of the trail. So here in the springtime, I don't know about the summer, I can't speak to that. I've never been here to the summer yet. But the day after a heavy rain, there's parts of this that is very marshy, just like this right here. This, I don't know if you want to call it sawgrass or whatever, that I'm able to walk on. And so far I've kept my feet dry, and I'm nearing the end of the trail. I did come out of my rain jacket, and if I had much further to go, I would probably come out of this merino wool. It's a 250 weight, which is a mid-weight. It has warmed up considerably. When I came out of the rain jacket, it had, I'm looking at trail signs here, seeing what it's telling me to do. When I came out of the rain jacket, my GoV thermometer told me that it had warmed up 6 degrees at that point. So I would not be surprised at all if by now we're not pushing 60 degrees. It is just short of noon. I am nearing the end here. I would call this a very successful hike. I learned a couple things about the trail, and a couple things about equipment, as far as I could have used just a little bit more warmth last night. And as I said before, the camp shoes would have been nice too, but the camp shoes that I have are more like water shoes, and they're not really capable of putting socks on. They're too tight for that. Maybe I would buy another pair that are larger that I could put some socks on underneath it, because that would have been really helpful last night, because I really didn't have a good way, once I stripped off my shoes and my socks, of keeping my feet warm, other short of slipping into my quilt, which I did. I'm trying to figure out a way around all this. There have been some log crossings where somebody apparently has laid logs across, but most of those are only about 3 to 4 inches wide, but I was able to make it. There was one where my trekking pole just kind of kept going down and down, and I was in danger of falling over sideways right into the mud. That would have been really interesting and embarrassing, if you know what I mean. With the sheriff down the road, no issue. We're just out here having fun. Alright, I will get back on when I get to the vehicle. Okay, so let's see. Where are we at here for the day? It says 5.5 miles. I did a little over 8 yesterday, so I guess that'd be 13 miles, wouldn't it? Okay. So, a successful hike of the Bloodroot Trail. I enjoyed myself, and hey, come check it out. It's a nice, enjoyable hike. Lots to see, and some nice campsites, and the place is immaculately clean. I saw virtually no litter whatsoever on the trail. So come take a look for yourself. Do me a favor, if you like what you're seeing down at the bottom, hit like and subscribe, and stay tuned. There's always more to come. Thanks for watching.